to the next point. We should ensure whatever we see is clear.
That means work is being done. We can see that it is in opposite direction.
Hello learners, you are welcome once again to e-learning segment. Today we are going to take on the usual subject, economics. I remain Mr. Obi Ifeanyi, your usual economics teacher. Definitely in every aspect of life we have theories. Theories as we see it are what scholars think, the researches they've made and come out with certain solutions or certain ideas to say that yes, this is where we stand on this topic, and this is where we stand on this issue. It is a very important segment, and from there, people can now take on from the works they've done to know how this is done or how this come about. So today, we are going into theories of population. Theories of population. We define population as the total number of people living in a particular geographical area at a given period of time. That is population. Now, we are going into theories of population. These theories, students don't like these theories. I don't know why, or because they don't understand it well, or because of certain issues. But throughout my years of teaching, I've found out that most students don't like, when immediately you mention theories of population, or you ask questions on theories of population, they don't always answer it. But today, we are going to treat it and you look at it the way it is and how simple it is. Theory of population or the theories of population are very simple to understand, that you can even sing song with them. Today, we are going to look at the following outlines: Malthus theory of population. That's number one. The second one, demographic transition theory of population. Then we look at overpopulation, underpopulation, and optimum population. Now, let us go to Malthus theory of population. We call it Malthusian theory. A Malthusian theory of population, his argument is that there should be balance between population and the means of supporting population. In countries where the population increases faster than the corresponding increase in the agriculture, that is where the population increases faster without a corresponding increase in agriculture, the Malthus prophecy is said to be vindicated. That's what we are saying, is that in countries where population grows faster than the means of sustaining population, what we are saying here is that as population is growing, there should be growth in the means that is used in sustaining the population. We say that Malthus said that while population was growing at geometrical progression, that is 2 times 2, 4 times 4, 16 times 16, 254, and so on and so on. That is geometric progression. While population is growing in geometric progression, you say that the agriculture, that is agricultural output, was increasing in arithmetic progression. You see? That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. That is arithmetic. So from what we have seen now, or from what we have said, you now find out that if population continues to grow in geometric progression, doubling itself, while the means of sustaining the population is growing in arithmetic progression, you see that this means that population will soon outstrip the available resources, and this signifies disaster. He therefore suggested checks as means of keeping the population growth down. So what he's saying is that the propagation of Malthus theory, he says that as population is growing geometrically, that means of sustaining population, which is agriculture, is growing arithmetically. If it continues like that, that the population will outstrip what is used in sustaining the population. And when that happens, it spells doom. The population may not have food to eat, and it will be doomed. How can you see? People are alive, but they cannot see food to eat. It will signify doom. In Britain, Malthus' forecast of doom, because we call it forecast of doom, do not come to true. It did not come to pass. It didn't come true because alongside population growth, there was advancement in technology, which improved agriculture and better farming techniques were evolved. More output were obtained to match the increase in population. It also increased efficiency in the transportation system, which enables more materials to be provided to areas that they are needed. It also changed the idea of land as a fixed factor of production due to better farming techniques. So in a nutshell, what we are saying is that in Malthus' theory, Malthus prophesied that if, what we call it, sometimes call it Malthus' prophecy of doom. So in some areas, we say that the doom did not come true. What is that doom he was talking about? Malthus says that, Malthus' theory, he says that if you allow population to move or grow geometrically, while means of sustaining population, what is that means that used in sustaining population? Agriculture. As the population is increasing, agriculture will be providing what the population will be eating. That is what you will use in sustaining the population. If two of them are not checked, if they don't grow in balance, it will spell doom. That doom is population growing in geometrical progression, while agriculture, which is the means of sustaining the population, grows in arithmetical progression. It now says that their time will come when the population will no longer be what you need to sustain the population will no longer be adequate. Thereby, it will be doom, or it will cause a disaster. So he suggested checks, that population should be checked. There should be a check between population and what is used in sustaining population. That is agriculture. So he now went further to say that in Britain, his forecast of disaster or doom did not come true. Why? Because in Britain, while population was growing, there was still increase, new technology in agriculture that made food to be produced to match the growing population. And equally, there was improvement in transportation, which made it easier for this agricultural produce to be transported to where they are needed. In Britain, you can leave your place to the other place. They will tell you it will take you 10 minutes. And you come out there, you enter the bus will take you there, 10 minutes is there. So there was improvement in agriculture, transportation, that takes this agricultural produce to where they are needed as at when due. So the disaster was averted. But in African countries, we are still following the Malthus population. If you have to check the African countries, we are still spelling doom, because in most countries there is overpopulation. We'll get to that later. Let us look at the demographic transition theory. Demographic transition theory of population. This demographic transition theory is another important theory. It has 3 stages. Let us look at it. This theory explains the 3 stages of modern population history, and why most of the developed countries have passed through these similar stages. So it's trying to tell us that in modern population history, there are 3 stages. And all these developed countries of the world, they all passed through these 3 stages to where they are today. So listen attentively, open your ears with your jotter. Let us follow this demographic transition theory and see what it is talking about. Stage 1. I've told you it has 3 stages. We enter stage 1. It says, at stage 1, this stage, which is prior to economic modernization, most of the countries have a stable population because birth rate and death rate were equally high, hence no growth. So what he's saying in this stage is that before economic modernization, before modernization time, that the population of these countries were stable. Why was it stable? It was stable because there was high death rate and there was high birth rate. They give birth to too many people and too many people dies. Why? When we get to the third stage, we will now ascertain why it is like that. The second stage says that this is the period of modernization. The first one is before modernization. Second one is the period of modernization and the improved health services, which results in fall in death rate and a rise in birth rate that led to transition of stable or low population to a rapid increase in population. You see, what he's saying here now is that at this second period of modernization, which improved health services. Health services has been improved. It has been modernized. Remember, at first stage, death rate was high. Birth rate was high. Now, this second stage, because of modernization, health has been modernized. Remember, I know in early years, when somebody is diagnosed of ordinary appendectomy, when they call appendicitis, that the person will go for operation. When I was a little boy, what I know is that it is 60-40. 60 of death, 40 to live. You see, 60-40, it means that 60 you must die. At 40 is you pray and God says, okay, you will live. These are the chances. But this is second stage. Because of improvement in medicine, medical facilities, you now find out that today, if somebody is diagnosed of appendectomy, the people have the parents or the people, the owners of the family members will have nothing to worry about. Why? Because I have seen people that go in the morning, do the appendectomy, after the operation, stay for 1 hour, get down from bed and go home. But in those days, people will be praying for you. If you survive, they will throw a party. But because of this improvement in medical services, again, when you are talking about improvement in medical services, in the years past, when a woman is pregnant, people will be praying. Nobody knows whether she will come out alive. But today, the woman will get pregnant, even if they say cesarean, through cesarean, that is operation. Before you know it, she'll get there and come out without anything. So that is improvement in medical services. Formerly, people die of malaria anyhow. But today, just a little malaria, you take a little tab and you get okay. So there is improvement in medical services, which as a result, people no longer die the way they used to die before. And they have not done anything about giving birth. They have not done anything about tackling the birth rate, the high birth rate. So they now have what we call, instead of stable population, we have a rapid population increase. That is what number 2 is talking about. Number 2 says that since number 1 talked about high death rate and high birth rate. But coming to number 2, in number 2, there is improvement in medicine. That improvement in medicine now reduces the death rate. People no longer die the way they used to die, but people are still being given birth to. Thereby, it has caused high increase in population. Let us see number 3, the third stage. Stage 3 says, at this stage, modernization and development cause birth rate to fall and eventually emerge with lower death rate. This will result in little or no increase in population. You see, this theory appears to be relevant to African countries. Some years ago, some African countries were in stage 1 with high birth and death rates. But today, with socio-economic development, they are now witnessing improvement in medical facilities, leading to a fall in death rate and a little or no effect in birth rate, thus causing rapid population increase. Most of these countries are now in stage 2 of a demographic transition theory. So what we are saying now is that African countries are in stage 2, because most times after this development, they will now ask you as a student, at which stage are African countries. So we say that African countries are now in stage 2 of demographic transition theory. Why? Because first was, at the first stage, it was high birth rate and high death rate. At the second stage, it was improvement in medicine that has caused death rate to decrease. Death rate has decreased, but birth rate is still high. Now, at stage 3, development and modernization entered. Development. As the country develops, people are now finding it, the reason why you should keep your family size very low. When I was a little boy, if your brother wants to go to Europe, the parents will tell you, don't bring back white woman for me here. Why? They say that white women don't give birth, that they don't have womb. Why? Because they give birth to only 1 or 2 because of development. They want to give birth to what they can control and what they can feed and pay their school fees. But in Africa, it's either we tell you that we want to go to farm with them. That's why I'm giving too much birth to many children. Or we tell you that my father married many wives, so I have to marry many wives and have many children. As you are having these children, the population is growing. And unfortunately, the means of maintaining the population is not going the same way with the population. So what they are now saying here in stage 3 is that at stage 3, development has entered. People have started seeing why they should reduce the birth rate. They have started seeing it's either because you want to train these ones you have to any level, or because you are not that rich, you want to give birth to what you can control without stressing your life, or you want them to, there are many reasons depending on the individual. And even the government came out with what we call, the same improvement on medicine brought out what we call family planning. This family planning dictates whether you want to give birth. You say, yes, okay, this is how you do it, or these are the pills you take. Okay, I don't want to give birth again. These are the pills you take, or these are the steps you take, so that you don't give birth to children any longer. That is development and modernization. So since development has come and reduced birth rate, with those improvements in medicine that already reduced death rate, 2 of them now match, and we have either stable or low increase in birth. Then let us look at overpopulation. What is overpopulation? Overpopulation refers to where there are more people relative to the available resources. The people have to compete for the available resources, and their standard of living is generally low. So when we are talking about overpopulation, it's where you have too many people, more than the resources that is used to, or the resources that are used to do what? To develop or sustain the population. So in where they are overpopulated, their standard of living used to be very low. What is the economic implication of overpopulation? The economic implication is that government may allow the citizens to do what? To move out, to migrate to other countries, to leave their country so that the population can come down. Then another thing is that government must step up the sources or means of sustaining population. But the serious effect is that government has to encourage its citizens to do what? To migrate to other countries or areas in order for the population to reduce, because overpopulation is very, very detrimental to any country. That's why we say that the overpopulation, the standard of living is very low. Any country that is highly or overpopulated, their standard of living naturally becomes low. Number 2, underpopulation. Underpopulation. What is underpopulation? Or what do we mean by underpopulation? That a country is underpopulated. A country is said to be underpopulated when the country's size of population is small relative to available resources. The country needs more people to exploit its natural resources so that the standard of living will increase. So in a country where the number of people living in that geographical area or that country is too small relative to the resources, which means what the government will do is to do what? To encourage immigration. To encourage immigration. I know you still remember what we mean by immigration. Immigration is the influx, movement of people into a particular country. That is immigration. Movement of people into a particular country. For example, Nigerian government may say, okay, we are opening up our borders for people from other countries to enter Nigeria. That's immigration. They are immigrating to Nigeria. Immigration. So what we are saying here is that a country that is underpopulated, the economic implication or effect is that the country should be opened up for people to come in and harness the available resources in order to move up the standard of living. Number 3, we have optimum population. Optimum population. What is optimum population? Optimum population refers to the population which, given existing factors of production and technology, will generate the greatest national product. At optimum population, the standard of living is at the highest. Standard of living of the people is at highest. It is a situation which output per head is at maximum. In every exam, once you hear optimum population, at optimum population, what happens? The standard of living of the people is at the highest. That is where the people that are, number of people living in that country is equal or is enough in respect with the available resources. So they match the available resources. They are at equilibrium. So that using the number of people and the available resources, their production as per capita per head is at the highest. Beyond optimum point, population increases more than available resources. Output per man decreases, obeying the law of diminishing return as, to labor as Swiss factor of land. So what we are saying is that after optimum population, you see that the population increases more than available resources. After optimum population, we are entering overpopulation. So we have come to the end of this lesson. Let us look at the assignments. Assignments. Number 1, identify the argument of Malthus' theory of population or Malthusian theory of population. Identify the argument. What did Malthusian theory of population, what is he talking about? Identify the argument. Number 2, A, mention 3 stages of demographic transition theory of population. Demographic transition theory of population stipulated 3 stages. Mention those 3 stages. 2B, at which stage are African countries in demographic transition theory? Which stage are they in that theory? African countries. At which stage will you, they have 3 stages. At which stage will you say that African countries are now and why? Number 3, distinguish between overpopulation and the optimum population. Distinguish between overpopulation and optimum population. Let me first look at the assignment again. I said number 1, for those of you that didn't get it very well, number 1, I say identify the argument of Malthusian theory of population. Identify the argument of Malthusian theory of population. Number 2, mention 3 stages of demographic transition theory of population. Demographic transition theory of population has 3 stages. Mention the 3 stages. B, at which stage are African countries in demographic theory? and why? At which stage are African countries in demographic theory and why? Number 3, distinguish between overpopulation and optimum population. Distinguish between overpopulation and optimum population. My name is Obi Ifeanyi. You can get me on my contact through WhatsApp 080-350-328-31. I repeat, Obi Ifeanyi 080-350-328-31. Stay safe, keep learning, and God bless you. Thank you very much.